What's going on, everyone? It's JB. Welcome back. We are here for episode 7 of Paving the Way. It's me and then my partner, Patrick. There he is, just on time. That's Patrick. So I was actually introduced Patrick as Chimin. It's our nickname for him. Pat always chimes in when we're working on stuff. He has a lot of good info, and it's kind of what he's been doing on here too. He drops his little tidbits on us to help educate us and make sure we're putting the right info out there. So I'm hoping he'll chime in with all the info he wants. He's got a lot of knowledge on the ADA field. We're here today to talk about ADA compliance. We're here with our third partner, Austin. Took 7 episodes to get him out of the field, but he is here ready to talk to us about ADA. What's up, Austin?
Hey, how's it going?
So tell us a little bit about your backstory pre-B&M.
Pre-B&M, I did concrete pumping for about five plus years. Got into concrete finishing, then did some development work and ended up joining the union and did some high-rise building tilt-ups. And then I got a phone call from a buddy, Pat, and he had said, hey, you want to meet up with me and my partner? Went and met him, and here we are today.
So that was in 2009. We were just actually talking before the broadcast about how our first project that we did when you came on was at the Folsom Zoo. Remember, it was that little ramp going up to what was that building? The little art building that they had? First thing was an ADA ramp that we did, which we then followed up with another project. So it's pretty interesting that we're going to talk about ADA today. So tell us about what you've done since you've been here, which direction you've gone.
I kind of went into overseeing project managers, overseeing the projects, kind of do full fleet management. I've got a lot of different titles. Kind of whatever gets thrown at me, I'll try to take care of best I can, but mainly focusing on the field work with crews.
Yeah, we actually jokingly call Austin the construction czar because he literally handles everything construction. I'm big on nicknames, just kind of breaking them out now because I haven't on the podcast before, but I love nicknames. So they both have tons of nicknames, which I will bring up many, many times because I just think it's funny. So ADA, what is ADA, Austin?
ADA is the Americans with Disability Act.
What this is it's an act that was set in place to provide safe access. Just got a question, which you already answered, so that was pretty spot on. I said, what does ADA stand for? So I didn't mean to stop. But what it does is it provides safe access to people with disabilities to all public buildings. And it's actually the law. It's not a suggestion, right, Pat? Right. So the reason you see a lot of ADA work going on is because of the lawsuits. There have been lawsuits. There's lawyers who actually solely go out and look for these kind of things. They look for ADA violations. And it's become a big deal. Actually, in California, there's been 25 to 35,000 ADA cases alone that were brought in the last couple of years. So it's crazy how big it's becoming out here. What actually happens with those two is if you decide to fight this and you go to court, you're going to lose. If your business is not ADA compliant, then you are not compliant and you can't win a lawsuit. Your best bet is going to be to take a fine and then do the repairs. We think there's a lot of things that you can do to protect yourselves from these, to make you not a target for ADA while making yourself compliant. So that's kind of what we want to talk about today. Our goal with these podcasts is to give you that inside info to make things easier for you and for you to protect yourself and reduce your liability. All right, Austin. So let's talk about an ADA property. How can I tell if something is ADA compliant, like a property?
When I first drive into a business, I'll look for handicap stalls. That's the first thing. Everybody knows what they look like. Everybody's seen them. And if those aren't there, then you know, as a property manager, property owner, that you got a problem. After that, you'll look for these yellow.
What's a parking stall made up of?
Parking stall is made up of a 9 by 18 foot striped, very easy to identify. You'll see signage.
And there's hash marks on the side too, right? It's a stall with the hash marks.
Yeah, that's for them to get out.
Do they need to be on a certain side?
It depends. There's the van access. The stalls are a little bit bigger.
Okay. Per van. Okay. So sorry, the stalls are the number one thing we look for.
Stalls.
And then where do you go from there?
Going from there, just driving through, you'll see these little yellow bumpy things that everybody hates, driving their shopping carts over and all that. That's definitely the second thing that I look for. They're very important. Basically, it's for the blind leading into a roadway, a parking lot, somewhere where a vehicle will be traveling. So those are really important and for safety.
Those are called truncated domes.
And they are called truncated.
So those truncated domes need to be connected to the handicap stall also, though, right? So if I find that handicap stall, there should be domes that are attached to that stall.
Correct.
Okay. And what else would go with that? What makes it complete? For us, we can come in and we'll do like a complete project. So we'll do just the stalls with a little bit of ADA compliance and the ramp. So what else goes with stalls and a ramp?
Path of travel. Huge. Getting them from the stalls to the business. That's number one thing. You definitely have path of travel.
What's the path of travel made up of?
Path of travel is made up of no more than 2% cross slope, leading them into the business.
Okay, so we're going to actually cut to, we have another project manager in the field, Josh McGee. We're going to bring him in. He's out of Dutch Bros. So this is a project that we did recently. You can see Dutch Bros in the background. This is on Howe Avenue. We helped them get this all built up so they get open. Are they operational right now, Josh?
They are fully operational at this point. The drive-through is extraordinarily busy, and they are rocking and rolling.
As they always are. Who did we do this project with?
This was with Azevedo Construction.
Azevedo. They're a great customer. And so why don't you show us, Josh? Can you show us what the path of travel look, or the ADA parking stall looks like?
Yeah, I'll walk us over here to the ADA parking stall we installed over here. We were working with an existing parking lot that's been here for several decades and was very rolly, very out of compliance. So I'll kind of pan over here, and you can see that those are the cross hatches that Austin was talking about, as well as the paint markings indicating that it's a handicap stall. And when we come here and do this asphalt, this entire section, including the parking stall and the crosshatch, needs to be less than 2%. And as you can see, we are currently at 1.4% going that way and 0.9% going from front to back. So this parking stall is completely in compliance, and we took something that was very much not so and made it like that. And then coming forward, you can see the truncated domes that Austin was also mentioning. These indicate that the person using the handicap access is either entering or exiting a roadway. These also need to be at 2% or less. You can see that we are at 0.8% going left to right, and front to back, we are at 1.1%, which is an extraordinarily flat road surface.
You might think it's a lot when you see the level, and we're putting the level on the ground. Josh is showing you the level because this is what anybody's going to do when they first show up on your site to see if you're ADA compliant. That level comes out of the truck, and they start setting it on the ground. I mean, that's really what everything is dictated by. When we do an ADA install, we're setting level on the ground that day as we install it, and then we're showing you how we're compliant at the end of the day, at the end of the project, so you can see your lot is now compliant.
As you can see in the background, there's also the handicap parking signage that is all part of the ADA Act. Right
There you go.
Those need to be set at certain heights. There's a ton of different stipulations that you have to know to make sure that you're hitting each different item and being in compliance all the way around.
The great thing about these domes, the great thing about these domes and these ramps and the signs when they're put in properly, when you're driving down a main throughway or a main road and you're looking at these businesses from side to side, you can see those domes from the street. You can see the signage. You can see the striping because it all sticks out and you can tell. That being said, when you are a lawyer driving around looking for ADA, you can see that it's not there. And it becomes very obvious. That's when they go and they look deeper, and we find getting these stalls updated soon and that area, it just kind of makes them breeze past you. It makes it a lot easier, and it reduces your liability.
Property manager, property owner, just quick little things to look out in your parking lot. Because if they're not there, then you got to give us a call.
Yeah. All right. Thanks, Josh. Thanks for telling us about the project, for showing us the Dutch Bros. If you want to grab some Dutch Bros and bring it back in, that'd be great. If you're heading back this way.
Definitely. Thanks a lot.
All right, man. Thanks a lot.
Get back to work.
All right. So ADA, do we kind of hit all the main spots? Anything else that I missed that we want to talk about?
I mean, one thing about ADA is it's kind of ever changing. They're constantly making small revisions to the codes. But once you do an ADA project and you come in and you get yourself into compliance with the codes that are existing at that time, even when they change the codes, you're still considered compliant. Anytime a commercial building wants to do a remodel, they have to allocate a certain portion of the budget to being towards ADA work. That can be exterior, which is great for us, or it can be interior work, making sure your doorways are wide enough, your sinks, have access for people in wheelchairs. The toilets are at certain heights. There's all kinds of other codes. We stick to the stuff outside.
Yeah. There was a question asked by Jason about if we drive around looking for ADA work and people that are not compliant. We actually, no, we don't. We actually work with a lot of property managers and general contractors. We want to help people who have these properties and help them fix them so they can reduce their liability. We don't really drive around. Not to say that
there definitely are people driving around
Yeah.
looking to see if you're compliant or not, or if you've made an effort to become compliant, which protects you. Once you start to make the effort, that protects you from being sued.
Yes, and that's really what we're showing. And really, if you're going to choose to spend the money on something, when you're doing the remodel, when you're putting it outside, it shows everyone else that you're putting in the effort. It's not secret hidden things like the toilets and the sinks that most people don't see. It makes a statement to everybody else. We care about ADA compliance, and it's important to us because you put in that work.
Yeah, there
Cool.
has been a single guy that is in a wheelchair, and his whole purpose in life is to drive around all of California. He has filed hundreds, if not thousands, of lawsuits against businesses. There's a little place in Folsom I used to go eat that basically had to shut down after he went there and shook him down for some money, and they couldn't afford to give him money, couldn't afford to do their ADA upgrades, so they closed the business. Do I agree with that? Not by any means of the imagination. Is it the world we live in? Yes, it is. So the best thing you can do is protect yourself ahead of time.
And that's what we're here to help you do. If you have questions on that, please reach out. I mean, you can get to us online. I think everywhere along this video, there's a link you can follow. You can go to our website. You can call Austin's personal cell phone.
Yeah, it's at 916.
So, Austin, anything else that you can enlighten us with ADA?
Yeah, we're here to help you. So it's never too late to have us come out and check your parking lot for you. We can give suggestions. We can, if you feel like you're out of compliance, we're here to help and make it so you don't have the problem.
Yeah, and this also ties back to our site assessment, which we can come do. We'll come out for property managers, and we'll come out and do one of your properties and do a full site assessment. This kind of shows you what you're looking at. It shows the ADA, it shows the asphalt and the condition of it. It shows your curbing and your other concrete work. It kind of gives you a breakdown of where your property is, so you can see what you're looking at. Because then you can also compare that to years in the future and see what's happening to my lot. How is it getting worse? How are these things getting not better? How are they getting worse?
Yeah.
Cool. So check us out on Facebook, everything else. I don't know what I'm supposed to pump.
Instagram, LinkedIn, bm-builders.com. Come on down to the office if you want to talk to us. Our address is all over the place. We're here. We've been here for a long time. We're not going anywhere.
Great. Thanks, everyone. Appreciate
Thanks.
talking to you. Thanks, Austin, for coming in.
Oh, yeah.